CBT lesson for my brother Dominic, and this is the first time I'm going a different route with this. And Dominic, this has got to do it. You got a haircut and dinner coming too, but it's a long drive. That's the only thing. You have to come when you head out to NASCAR. Hit me up again. Anyways, it's 8 pages. I've got 25 things. I've got footnotes on everything. This is for each example that I'm showing you, I'm putting the primary things that it covers, because you can get more than one thing out of one example. So I tried to throw in there if it's like the number 1, alternate picking, down picking, exercise, strengthening, speed solos. So they cover a lot of things, and I wrote that next to each one so you can see all the things that it apply to. A lot of them are kind of no-brainers in the sense that, you know, we can always work on speeding things up. Not because that makes it better, but just because it's a concept that you specifically want to get better at. So everything, man, is self-explanatory in this. It's we got 8 pages. I tuned up standard for this, and it covers a big spectrum of things, dude. What I've called this CBT lesson is beginner and beyond, and it is that. It is exactly that. So let's jump in, starting with the first one. This is something, one of the first things I learned was this finger exercise. It's going to help, like I said, for lots of reasons. Alternate picking, you can down pick all of it as well, but you want to do all the options you can. Strengthening the fingers, working on speed. It'll help you with soloing. So lots of things. So on this one, and also play this stuff on the clean as well as distortion. Don't limit yourself. I know it's more motivating to play with distortion, but you want to get the results. You want to make sure you're playing it clean. So this pattern, and I still use it to this day, goes like this. It's an 8-note pattern. You want to use the same fingering I put down for this. Once you get that 8-note concept, Dominic, you're going to move everything a half step except for the open. Each group of 8 is going to start with an open. I'm also alternate picking. If it's too overwhelming at first, play everything down till you get the pattern memorized, then apply the alternate picking. So open E, 2nd fret, middle finger, 1st fret, 1st finger, 3rd fret, 3rd finger, 2nd fret, 2nd finger, 4th fret, 4th finger, 3rd fret, 3rd finger, 2nd fret, 2nd finger. So basically you got a finger, it's a 4-fret pattern. You got a finger for each fret. Okay, and then alternate picked. Once you get that, you move the whole concept a half step sharp. A half step is 1 fret. So if we're moving everything up 1 fret except the open, we can shift everything up. The frets will change, the fingering will stay the same. But memorize it here first, then it'll be easier when you start moving it in half steps. I wrote in there, play all the way up to fret 12 and then work your way down the strings, which would be I'm saying, like, when your first finger comes down, technically we're moving to fret 14, but then move your way descending. Just move it 1 fret over. Alright, and then you can work your way up. And when you get tired of clean channel, you switch it over. You can add palm muting. You know, the more variations you make it, the funner it becomes, and the better your results are going to be. Okay, so that's for the first one. Alternate picking, when you get into that, don't overshoot the string. Keep it tight in there and close. Let the kind of a circular motion with the wrist. Okay, keep that in mind. Number 2, this is working on hammer-ons, speed, warm-ups, scales. It's a chromatic thing, which means it's moving in half steps, and for soloing. And this one, if you hear the term chromatic, you're moving in half steps. So this is a chromatic scale. Might be a little tricky, but we're working on a combination of hammering on three things, like this. Okay, it's basically like going, you know, moving one fret at a time, but we're dispersing it between the 6 strings. Sounds better on the distortion, you know. And you could down pick, you know, you got 4 notes per string, you're picking the first one, and just down pick that. See how you shift it down and move it back a fret until you get to the G string, because the B string's tuned in 4, so you would just do the same. Play it backwards. Alright, but like I said, distortion will cover your mistakes, so start slow, make sure that the clarity of each hammer-on is there. You may find this one a little weaker. It usually is for most people, so individually, when you play slow, you can analyze that. You know, work on it in chunks of 2s. Alright, last thing that'll happen with that stuff is the speed. Keep that in mind, but it is a goal. Lots of stuff that'll help you with that in here. Number 3 is pull-offs, speed, solo, and this is in E major. I'm going to go ahead and put distortion on this one. It's got kind of a familiar sound you may recognize, and it goes. Actually, it's longer than that. We're going 4/7, 5/8, 7/10, 8/12, so it's actually climbing. So. That's just by applying palm muting, which I didn't even put on this one. I'm obviously playing it fast, but slowed down, it's going to be a pick, pull, pick, pull. Finger 1 and finger 4 for all of this. And I also try it on all the different strings as well. So we're going to pick 4th fret, high E. So, remember with the thumb, you may want the thumb anchored here, or you may want it down here. You need to see what you're comfortable with. 4, pull to open, 7th fret with the pinky, pull to open. Do that 4 times. Pick, pull, pick, pull. And you know what that sounds like, dude. You know it, but I won't say it. Move the whole concept up a half step sharp. That puts you at 5E and 8E. Pick, pull, pick, pull. The secondary note is always going to be the open. 4 times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Those are called 8th notes. Then we're going to move up to 7 and 10. Same concept. 7 open, 10 open. Pick, pull, pick, pull. And then the hardest one is fret 8 and fret 12. 8 open, 12 open. One thing you can do on those stretches, if your thumb is up here, actually even if it's down here, the lower you go, the bigger stretch you can get. Use it as a pivot back here to give yourself more room if you need it. Obviously, try it with distortion. Try it on all the strings. Add some palm muting. You know, you can try it on the low E. Whatever, you know, the G string. Add some palm muting. Limitless. Speed is the last thing to come into play. So that's that one. Number 4 is kind of similar to that. It's a little tougher. It's going to sound like this. And what it is we're picking the 8th fret down, and then we're going to pick the 5th fret. Make sure you don't accidentally pull off. Pick the 5th fret, hammer to 8, pull off to 5, pull off to open. There's a lot of technique in there. Out of those 5 notes, you're only picking 2 of them, the first 2. Okay, get a good snap on your pull-offs. Good solid hammer. Another good habit is to touch the B string if you're worried about that ringing out. Throw some distortion on it. Then we're going to do that same concept. A lot of these are concepts, Dominic, so you get it in one spot, we move it to another, apply the same techniques. 7 and 4 this time. You'll find on the distortion your hammer pulls will sound a little louder naturally because it has the gain, which is going to put that element of sustain in your playing. But you want to have control of your hammer-on strength and your pull-off strength. The goal also is to not pause it when you finish it. That's fine, but you also want to keep it rolling. Then we move up to 10 and 7. You're doing the same concept though, 4 times. And then the hardest one, 12 and 8 on the high E. Okay, if you need that thumb down here to free up, that's fine too. So watch, we have a... Try it on the D string. It's a little harder as you move up this way. Okay, so it's gonna take some time, dude, to build up the speed, you know, to this point with it. But make sure it's clean. I'd rather hear you play it somewhat slow or moderate tempo and clean than fast and sloppy. So bounce between that clean channel and the distortion. Okay, on the bottom of just about every page here, I have some extra notes. Try these on all strings. I already mentioned that. Keep things changing. The more variations, the more motivating, fun, and beneficial it will be. Play on clean channel and distortion. Start slow and gradually increase speed. Okay, that's it for the first one, or page 1. We move on to page 2, and this is example number 5. The things that it focuses on is picking, chords, and songs. You may want to go clean channel for this. And we're going to go pinky fret 7 on the A, first finger fret 4 on the D. You're probably going to need to take your thumb and drop it low, at least midpoint, or maybe even lower. Here's why. We're going to go A, D, G, D 2 times. So we need an open G in there. You want to make sure this index isn't angled down. It's naturally going to want to do that. You're going to have to remind yourself to try and stay on the tip and apply a little more upward pressure, right? So the pattern, kind of a general rule, and I'm not going to read all these extra notes per each page on the video. You can read those when you get the tabs. But we have A, D, G, D. We're going to pick in the general direction of the next string. That's kind of the basic concept when it comes to picking. You can always change it, but this will help when it comes to picking up the speed. Alright, so we discussed the 7-4, open 4, twice, down, down, up, up. Repeat that, but take your 3rd finger and go to fret 6 on the A. So we're eliminating the pinky completely. And do the same thing twice, 6-4, open 4. Okay, moving along, we're moving to fret 5 on the A string with the middle finger. Fret 4 stays consistent through this. So our melody is... moving chromatically, descending, so 4, 5, 4, open 4, down, down, up, up. The last one's a little bit of a more of a challenge. First finger 4A, third finger 5D, middle finger 4G. And this one changes up a little. We're going to go A, D, G, D, but our picking's going to go, it's going to go down, down, up, down, drop the pinky to 5G, go up, pick the D string, 5th fret, down, you're already there, lift your pinky off, go up on 4G, and go up on 5D. The reason I say up on 5D is you're done with it, we're heading back to the A string. So here's that one more time. Another thing too, like if you have trouble changing without having a big pause, particularly you may have an issue on this last chord, you can drop this, pick it, and then drop the others as you need to go. Like, that's okay. Okay, so that's that one. Number 6, more picking chords and songs. These are just ideas you can use for songs. Fret 7 on the D string with your pinky. Fret 5 on the G with your first finger. Fingers can be altered. That's one of the things I pointed out in the notes. Everyone's finger length is different. It comes down to comfort. Don't always take the easy route, but you know, play around with it. On this one, we're going to go A, D, G, B, 4 downs. Let me play it first. Okay, so you got A, D, G, B, and then E, B, G, D, 4 upstrokes, starting from string 1. So 4 downs, 4 ups. Huh?
Where is everybody?
Running errands. Oh, for Presley?
Yeah, but clean it, it's all dirty.
Okay, I will. Thank you, Mom. Sorry about that. Okay, so we got 8 notes in there. Another thing is there's 8th notes involved in here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Take your middle finger, go to 6 on the A string. Leave everything else down. We're changing our root notes. Pick everything the same as you just did on the last one. Makes it a lot darker. The next one is just a power chord. You're going to go first finger 5D, and we need 7G as well with the pinky or third finger. Do the same picking again. 4 downs, 4 ups. And then we move that a whole step flat to 3D, 5G. And pick the same strings. So that's an 8th note picking progression using 4 chords. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 4 downs, 4 ups. Okay, number 7. This is more picking. It's in E minor. That last one was in A minor. I think I need to notate that on your tabs. This one's in E minor. Fits in the songs category. It goes like this. Oops. Actually, I gotta turn the page. Go to page 3. That last one. So it ends with. And obviously you can repeat that, but let's finish this one up here, and that'll be the end of the first video. Where are we at? Where are we at? Page 1, page 2. Yeah, so 14, 12, D and G. And our pick pattern is down, down, up, up, D, G, E, B. Repeat that. So you're doing it twice, and then we're going to move to 12D, 11G. Do the same thing. Take that whole shape, move it to 10D, 9G. Repeat it. Then move to 9D, 7G. Move that shape a whole step flat to 7D, 5G. And then move to 5D, 4G. And then we move over to page 3. We got 4D and 2G. You can experiment with fingering on this. I'm using the 3rd finger for this 4th fret. We'll go D, G, B. Those are all downs. E, B, G are ups. So, and then middle finger 3E, first finger 2E, and then strum an E minor chord down. And you can go. Back by the bridge, get that tintier sound. That's it for the first video.